Today we've got the new Brighton man. It is going to be Herzella's 4-2-3-1, a tactic that I won Brighton the treble with in Season 1 with no custom signings apart from the signings they've got in real life. It's an absolute masterpiece of a tactic, and any Brighton fans watching, it's tailored for you really. So today we have got 3 variants of this amazing tactic which absolutely shocked me when it comes to the results. If you do enjoy the tactics, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and as always, you know by now, but you can turn on the notification bell to never miss another post. And if you enjoy rebuilds, come and check out the second channel. You can see it here somewhere. We post a lot of rebuilds. You absolutely love it. Let's go through and learn about this tactic. So to actually build this tactic, we done it all off a clean slate, and we're simply going to load in a basic 4-2-3-1. First off, I said a treble. It was actually a quadruple because we are going to win the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup and the Friendly Cup and the Premier League, only losing 1 game with no custom signings apart from the signings they have in real life. We are playing on the modern database, so any new players we have got, to make that very clear before anyone wonders. Now, going over to the league, Evan Ferguson and João Pedro were a massive reason to why we were so good in this system. When it comes to the actual stats, the only thing I could say we could have improved on slightly would have been possession, but I look at the goals we scored, the shots, defensive record, I can't have it all, so I'm going to happily take a 55% possession record. We outscored Newcastle, Arsenal, City, Liverpool, United, Chelsea. You can't have it all in football, and we've done an incredible job. The data hub as well is going to be 3.55 goals per game, only 0.63 conceded, a great pass completion, and a very good amount of shots per game. Genuinely, this might be my best 4-2-3-1. It's definitely up there in terms of a team designed for I'm not going to call Brighton an underdog. I know they've got really good players, but they're not a top 4 team, are they, realistically? And we've made them look like a powerhouse. Let's go over and let's build this tactic. So to the tactic screen we go. It is going to be based off, by the way, a positive mentality on the clean slate. I'll quickly change that to positive before I forget. Once again, if you're interested in getting access to all 3 of these tactics today in one simple download, you can come over and join the Patreon. Not only do you get that, you get it on console, you get it on mobile, you also get my rebuild files, my rebuild tactic files, you get everything early, you get priority in all of the requests, and also one-on-one tactical help. And if that's not enough, we also run a big monthly giveaway every single month, which soon is going to also throw in some match tickets. So that's a pretty cool concept, right? You can be watching FM one day, get sent to a Brighton match the next. What's not to love? Let's go over and talk through some of these player roles. So we're going to go over and start with the goalkeeper, which is going to be a sweeper keeper, which is simply going to be set to support. So a nice and simple role to start, no custom instructions, pretty easy, right? Well, this is where it is going to get a little bit more out there in terms of what positions we're going to have, what player roles we're going to have. Let's go over and remind myself. The wing-back on the right is going to be set to support, and he is going to have some instructions. So let's go over and add them on. We're going to have run wide. We're going to have him on naturally, get further forwards, and also have him on sit narrow. So additionally, obviously he's going to be sitting narrow out of possession. When he has the ball, he's going to be running wide with it, just to clarify any sort of confusion there. When it comes to the left back, we are going to have him a little bit different. So it's going to be a wing back on support. Obviously, if you know Brighton's team, you know they've got an incredible left back, who I'm not going to say the name of because I will butcher his name, but he is absolutely incredible. He's going to be set to take more risks, run wide, get further forwards, and also we're going to have him set to sit narrow. So again, a very similar vibe in terms of the sitting narrow out of possession, but when they have the ball, they're going to pick it up and run wide. So don't think you're going to be too narrow when you have the ball. This is out of possession. You're going to be sitting narrow when you got the ball. Then wing backs are going to be running wide with it. So don't worry about that. When it comes to the centre backs, we are going to have 2 ball playing defenders who are both simply going to be set to the default. So nothing too custom there. Nice and simple. And actually, it completes quite a reserve back line. Yes, the wing backs are going to get forwards, the left back a little bit more than the right back, but I will say we did not struggle at all when it comes to the defence. And when it comes to the 2 deep players in midfield, we are going to go with a DM, and we are going to have him set to support. Now, he is going to have some instructions. He's actually going to be told to get further forwards and also tackle harder. So quite an aggressive DM option, to be honest with you. And next to him, we are going to go with a Volante, who is simply going to be set to support, he's going to have some instructions, don't you worry. He is going to be set to moving into the channels. We're going to have him on mark tighter and also tackle harder. So once again, quite an attack and pairing in midfield. Again, the DM is going to do his defensive duties, but he will also push forward, and it does help a lot in terms of getting the goals, which is why we were one of the best teams, actually the best team, when it comes to scoring goals in the Premier League, including the big boys. When it comes to sort of the front 4 or the 3 block, should I say, the winger on the right is going to be set to attack, and he is going to have some instructions that is going to consist of run wide and also roam from the position. When it comes to the left-hand side, we are going to have an inverted winger that is is going to be your Matoma. What a player he is, by the way. And he's also going to have one instruction, which is going to be shoot more often, because that guy can happily have a crack at goal. He is absolutely incredible. The AM is going to be set to attack. João Pedro actually played this role incredibly well inside of Football Manager, so if you're wondering, there's your answer. And he's going to be moving to the channels and also roam from the position. And we're also going to finish this off with a nice and simple complete forward simply on attack. So it's a very attacking 4-2-3-1, and I say that because the midfield options are quite attacking, the front four are very attacking, but we were actually really solid. And I think the team instructions do tame it a little bit. So for example, we're not like completely maxed out with the trigger press and things like that, or shall I say the tempo. You'll see it very shortly. Hopefully it all makes sense to you guys, but genuinely one of the funnest tactics I've probably made of a manager recreation in quite some time. Going over to the team instructions, by the way, I will say it again, clean slate on the positive. We're going to go all the way down to fairly narrow. We're going to focus down the left and the right hand side. The freedom, we're going to be more expressive with the low crosses. The tempo isn't going to be maxed out, so it is going to be quite easy on your players. The passing is going to go down to shorter. If you are struggling with fatigue, by the way, a bit off topic, rest, rotate and train. 3 principles, you'll be absolutely golden. You'll not have any issues at all. In transition, we're going to counter press, we're also going to counter and play to anyone across the back line with no favoured distribution type. And lastly, we are going to deploy a mid-block, there you go, a little bit different, with a higher defensive line. More often, we're going to prevent short goalkeeper distribution because we have got a lot of players up there, and also we are going to hit get stuck in. That is going to give you the tactic we tested with Brighton. We made a slightly more attacking one, but we've got some pretty impressive results. Let's go and check it out. So yeah, it is going to be with a powerhouse because that is usually what we do when we make a tactic even more attacking. Now the attacking tactics, guys, you can use also just in mid-game to switch to go and score more goals. But this was tested, this Celtic result, all the time using this attacking tactic. The Viaplay Cup, the Scottish Cup we are going to win. We are also going to obviously go and win the Scottish League, only drawing 1 game, nearly winning 38 games. So a very strong performance. The data hub is going to be 4.08 goals per game, 0.34 conceded, over 23 shots, an immaculate pass completion, and a very good tackle win ratio. Yes, we're a powerhouse, so the stats are going to go up. But again, we have it in the video for those of you that are playing as powerhouses or have built up a powerhouse team, or maybe you just love attacking football. I've got you covered. The attacking tactic does actually change quite a fair bit, as you can probably see instantly from the 2 in midfield. So we'll go over that very briefly, but the goalkeeper is going to be the same. Both of the ball playing defenders also are going to remain the same. The wing back on the right and on the left are going to be exactly the same as well. So we are still going to favour the left back a little bit more because in this Brighton team, he is a little bit better when it comes to going forward. Of course, in your team, it might be the right back, and that is completely fine to swap and vice versa. The Volante is now set to attack, on dribble more and move into the channels. We then push up one of them to a centre mid on automatic on get further forwards, roam, move into the channels, and also take more risks. The winger on the right, run wide, roam and tackle harder on attack. The inverted winger on attack, shoot more and tackle harder. The AM, roam, move and tackle harder on attack. As you can see, it's a lot of tackle harder going on because I want to really press up high up the pitch, win the ball back, and obviously score us some goals. And the complete forward is also going to have tackle harder simply on attack. So a lot of aggression to the team instructions. So again, the clean slate on the positive mentality, just to clarify that once again, we are going to go down to fairly narrow. We're going to overlap left, we're going to overlap right. We are still going to focus down the left and the right hand side of the pitch, but of course really focus on overlapping them runs now. The tempo is going to be set to higher, with the passing also being the same. The crosses, they're not going to change either, but we're going to double stack this, so run at defense and also be more expressive. So a real attack and statement being made. In transition, we're going to counter press, we're going to counter, and we're going to play to anyone across the back line. But this time, of course, we're going to get the ball moving a little bit quicker. And lastly, out of possession, we are going to deploy the high pressing line of engagement, a real big change to the mid-block, a much higher defensive line, a maxed out press. Of course, we're going to have that selected as well. We're going to step up more and also get stuck in. And that's going to give you boys and girls a slightly more attacking version of that 4-2-3-1. And for those of you that play as a smaller team, a real smaller team, I've also gone to the effort to make an underdog one, / a defensive one. So let's go over and see what we've done. I believe it was tested with St. Pauli. So these are pretty much bottom of the pile of the Bundesliga. The Pockle wasn't anything to talk about, and the league title I'm going to claim, as obviously we did win it, it wasn't pretty, I'm not going to lie to you. 24 wins, 7 draws, 3 losses, nowhere near 100% win rate or anything like that. But to take a team from almost relegation prediction to champions over Bayern, Leipzig, etc. is a real good statement. The data hub might not look that attractive. It looks okay, not compared to the Celtic one, for example, but you've got to take into account we are St. Pauli in the Bundesliga. We are not going to have the same stats. And to get the job done, it says a lot about how good this is. The way we achieved that was to simply sit back and look at what maybe the weaknesses would be when playing, you know, as a weak team with a default tactic or attacking tactic. And do you know what it come down to? It come down really to these 3 players here. They're a little bit too attacking necessarily for a traditional underdog team. And especially when you're trying to run the clock down, you can't afford to have a lot of players on attack all the time. So we've toned it down, humbled ourselves, and we've actually come out and still won a lot of games, drawn a few, yes, but we got the job done. The goalkeeper does remain the same. Both of the ball-playing defenders also remain unchanged. The wing-back on the right and on the left, both now on automatic, both now on only one instruction, that being sit narrow. The DM on the right, on support, on tackle harder. A ball-winning midfield player, on support, on mark tighter. Of course, by default, he's going to be tackling harder. The AM is now on support, on pass it short, hold up, get forwards, roam, and move into the channels. The winger on the right, pass it shorter and roam, and on the left exactly the same. So a much more sort of now control and sort of style to the game, a little bit less risky, to be honest. The AM plays a big part in this team because I want him getting forwards into an aggressive position, but when he has the ball, just hold it, wait for a nice easy pass, don't take as many risks. And of course the striker, he is going to still be on attack because I want someone to be scoring goals, so he's going to be a complete forward simply on attack. The other big change, it still is a clean slate by the way, but we have gone down to balance, so that is going to be the real big change here, and we've gone all the way down to narrow to really compress this team all into one block so we can keep the passes nice and easy. The crosses remain the same. We are now going to add on work ball into the box again to really make use of the few chances we do get. I'd rather have a perfect chance in a system like this. We are going to play out from the back. We're going to dribble less. We're going to go down to shorter, which of course will leave this at standard. And if you want to, if you're using this as in to defend a game out with, you're not playing an entire season with this, you can also add time wasting. But if you are using this for an underdog team, don't time waste from the start. It would not be sensible. In transition, we are going to counter press. We're going to hold the shape, play to anyone across the back line while taking short goal kicks. Again, pretty self-explanatory. Quick to win the ball back, slow when we've got the ball. Pass it side to side, take your time, eliminate the risks, just control the game. And lastly, out of possession, we are going to go with that mid block, the standard defensive line, get stuck in and leave this bang on in the middle. And honestly, that is going to give you some very fun tactics to use. You have got the default tactic, which we tested with Brighton, don't forget that season. The attacking tactic with Celtic, don't forget that season. And St. Pauli, 16th to 1st with the defensive tactic. They absolutely cook. If you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Again, if you want to show any love back to me as a creator, you can come over and join the Patreon. If you don't want to show any love back, you get a ton of perks. It's a win-win. So I'll be seeing you in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day.